Welcome into a Tuesday night evening blend. I am Pod Blender. With me is Matthew Matson. And hang on. I'm not letting you get off scot-free there. You're going full screen, buddy. Look at that hair. What I wouldn't give to have hair like Guile. Holy moly. Team America. Absolutely.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Yeah, you got your green on. I had to go find a shirt with some green on it. So here's my Joe Fest logo with the green in it. It's the Club Tarkin shirt. I did have something that got dropped off on my doorstep today. Was this bad boy right here, the Cobra Law Guard, Royal Guard. So, yep, he showed up today. And it said it was going to be here Friday, so he came a little early. DHL. Christmas came early. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Anyway, so that's the newest pickup. I've got I think some other stuff here probably coming soon. But anyway, so yeah, say no to crabs. They took our jobs. Say no to crabs. You got to get some rid for that stuff, man. That's bad news. Anyway, so yes. Welcome in. I expect, Matthew, I don't know how many people will be out and about tonight doing some St. Patty's Day, so it could be a little night. It just happens to be one of those holiday/drinking day nights for a lot of people, especially if you're Irish in this particular occasion. So,
or have any little bit of Irish in you.
That's what Mag's girlfriend used to say. Oh no, that's terrible. I shouldn't even say something like that. That's terrible. Wait a minute. Anyway, so yeah, man. We actually have some pretty good stuff to talk about that's kind of happened in the last few days. With the Buffy reboot, there's some G.I. Joe news. We obviously had the Oscars Sunday night. Not that anybody really cares, but I do have the winners and winners list. Obviously, you've got Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer dropping tomorrow, but there's some stuff that's kind of dropped already. We can take a look at some lanterns controversy, I guess, or some walking back of comments, which sparks a conversation we'll get into when we talk about it, that we've brought up before when it comes to hiring people for certain jobs. And then the strangest story, and not strangest, but the Rebel Wilson PR team story, I find, because we know that this stuff goes on probably around the clock in Hollywood. And so when we get to it, we'll kind of explain it to you guys. You probably haven't heard about it, but it's an interesting case of trying to smear someone and using PR firms, PR teams to do it. So we'll get into that too. You did see the Dune Part 3 trailer drop today. Are you excited for Dune Part 3?
I liked Part 1 well enough. I was really looking forward to Part 2, and they deviated so far. Okay. I don't know how much I really care. They've got such a great cast, but Zendaya just kind of kills it. She's killing the momentum. She's killing the mood, however you want to phrase it. She doesn't fit those other actors.
And I'd almost say, in a way, Dave Bautista also, for me, for even the first movie, for me, was not.
I thought he did well with the first movie, but then they took away all of his character in the second, and made him something else. And I was like,
yeah, it's, look, full disclosure, I did not make it all the way through the second movie. It did not capture me the way that the first one did. I went to the theater to see the first one. I did enjoy it, although I am not a Dune, not even necessarily a fanatic. I'm not someone who has always, revered it or anything like that. It's just never hit me like that. But I watched the old one, obviously, years ago when we were kids. But the first movie, I did enjoy. but I got man, I probably only got about 20 minutes into the second movie, and it just, I don't know, it wasn't happening. I'll go back and watch it, and then gear up for this third one. But
Sure.
it
But
did
you know
not
what?
get me.
That's kind of the way I feel about the movie that won Best Picture.
Oh, okay. Well, and the guy that won Best Actor, that movie did not grab me the way it grabbed a lot of people. With Michael B. Jordan, even though I thought it was good, but I didn't think Sinners was as great a movie as a lot of people made it out to be. But
I mean, it's really kind of a retelling of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, and I think also too a bit predictable once you start to get.
That's fine.
That's
fine. That doesn't make a movie good or bad.
Sure,
it's how it's all put together. A lot of people like it. That's great. I think it's a little overrated, like a couple other movies that we know.
Yeah, and like I said, I have the winners list, so we'll go through kind of the main ones just to take a look, a peek at them.
You have the Sinners list?
I do, actually. It's the Easteen Files.
Yeah.
But boom. Okay, we'll say hey to a few people that's rolled in. I do suspect there are probably some people out and about celebrating. I know people had started early at my job, and
yeah, but that's the nature of your job.
It is by far. They started early, but then a lot more people started showing up right as I was getting out of there. So, and I was glad to, man. I'm over the green food coloring beer thing. It's just not not my deal. What's up, 3-star? I'll be on with him tomorrow night. We should be good to go for Seven's Wild. I almost said Backyard Battlefield. Stanley is here. What's up, Stanley? Well, hopefully we can give you a distraction, buddy. Definitely. I hate to hear that. Definitely. Cancer sucks. I think we would all agree.
Yeah.
100%. So yeah, man, sorry about that, buddy. 3-star says, man, I miss the days when St. Patrick's Day was such a big deal. Getting old and responsible sucks. Getting old sucks. The main part, for
who
sure.
says you have to be responsible? I mean, you don't have to be.
Exactly. God, I almost said something that would get me in a lot of trouble, and I am so glad that I kept my mouth shut. Nolan, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Frank Dumenu is here.
What's up, Frank?
And I always love seeing Frank's YouTube channel avatar or whatever because it's so bright. And honestly, from here, I don't even know what it is. I just know it's really bright. And
it looks like a weather pattern.
Every time he pops, some of the ones we've had here lately. But every time he pops in, it's always like,
It's Maestro. It's Old Hulk.
Okay.
It's an action figure. Yeah.
Dig it. Committed to Dune. Look, hey, I mean, either you're in or you're. Yeah, I don't think there's many people that are kind of like, on the fence with Dune.
Yeah, I've read the first 5 books, I think, for Dune, and I've watched every incarnation that's come out. The Lynch movie, the Spice Diver cut of the Lynch movie, the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries, and gone through all this, and every one of them has their charm and their piece for the storytelling part of the Dune story. Honestly, I think the Spice Diver cut of the Lynch movie is probably still the best. But this third movie is trying to cover 2 books worth of stuff because, in all actuality, not a lot happens in the second book, but the third book has a bit more. So we'll see how far they go into that.
Yeah, the spinoff series that they did not fare very well when they try to expand out of the universe, and I think they're gonna just kind of have to stick to the the narrow scope, so to speak, like stay on plan. I don't think they're going to be doing many spinoffs, considering. I mean,
well, the TV series didn't do anything that they wanted it to do either. The Bene Gesserit TV series.
So 3-star thinks it was just as boring now as in '84, and then wants to know how many movies are planned. I think just the third one, right?
Initially there was only 2 planned, and they said, okay, we'll do a third one. Then people are trying to get him to commit to a 4th one, but he's like, nah, there's nowhere to go for the 4th one.
Well,
because he took 2 movies to tell the first book story, which is actually probably a good idea. But then that leads into the second book, and then the third book, and that pretty much wraps up Paul Atreides' story. So that's the end of Paul Atreides.
Okay.
And then the books after that have to do with his children and many generations later and all kinds of stuff.
Well, I don't know if you would go that far. I don't know how many people would be that interested.
Exactly. And you'd have to recast everybody. It's a whole new project. Why would you even bother doing it?
Right.
So, if you tell those first 3 books story-wise, you're done.
So I want to bring up an interesting point, though, and we'll jump off of Dune. December 18th is the release date, Matthew. And chat, do you know what else comes out December 18th?
Is that Doomsday?
That would be Doomsday. And Dune Part 3 has a 3-week IMAX exclusivity. At the time Doomsday would be out, IMAX will be showing Dune Part 3. And I find that interesting. I think it's the more appropriate for IMAX because of the filmmaking, but
now we shall see.
I was curious.
We shall see if Disney flexes their muscle or not on this topic, because they have before, and where another film was scheduled to be in IMAX, they forced the theaters to push that film out of IMAX to keep their movie in. So they very well can change that at the last minute if they have enough confidence for it to do so. I think the theaters would push back hard on it, because I think Dune is going to have the larger draw to the IMAX, because there just aren't enough people wanting to see the Disney movies.
Well, I don't know that Doomsday requires an IMAX screening just from a cinematic aspect, where the Dune films, they are filmed, that the style and the way that it's done, I think better suits an IMAX showing. But I just found that really curious that was the same release date and gonna have that exclusivity for 3 weeks, man.
Yeah.
Like that's, so if Doomsday doesn't pop off and there is a drop off after the first weekend, if it doesn't hit the way that they want it to, then not only are you missing out on the higher ticket price, but then obviously you're going to suffer a drop afterward. I doubt 30-star that they would move up.
They can't.
Yeah.
It would take an act of Congress for them to move the date. Once you pick a date in the movie theaters, it costs everyone a ton of money. It costs the studio and the theaters a ton of money to change that date once you have it set. So they're not going to risk that, because that's going to cost them way too much.
Yeah, it's it's almost like when they schedule concerts at venues, right, and football stadiums, and you have all the these venues are booked up, right? All these parts in motion, and all this stuff is scheduled and everything. And it's like if something has to be canceled or a date changed, it's like moving mountains, to try to get it done and reschedule something like that, because venues are used up, and in a way, same with movies. But that is interesting though, man. Both releasing on the same day, and Dune gets the IMAX. HK Viper, how you doing, buddy? Cheers to you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. A little piece of news. Start off the top, man. I don't think we need to dig into that trailer. There's not a lot there.
If you're excited about Dune 3, then you're going to be excited about this trailer. If you're trepidatious about it, the trailer's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to change your mind. It's not going to get you excited. It's not going to shun you. Maybe. I mean, I still say there's too much Zendaya on it, but
Yeah.
Zendaya Holland now, by the way, she changed her name.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that's hopefully that lasts forever, right? Hollywood marriages are made to last.
Did you see the prenup agreement that they had?
Oh no, I did not.
Oh, Tom's giving her everything.
Stop it.
like everything is going to be transferred into her name. So anything that they own will be in her name. She gets, more than half of his money. And if she gets pregnant, he has to stop all production on anything that he's working on to go help
Shut
her. And
up.
yeah. So yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah. That's part of the prenup that they signed.
What oh man. That's that could get in the way of some serious plans, man.
Well,
Like,
and I will tell you that Tom Holland had the thought process, the idea that he was done with acting when he wanted to start
well,
a
that's
family.
true. Yeah, no, you're right. He
Right?
doesn't want to act forever. You're right. He is kind of said that he doesn't want to do it forever.
Yep.
And so, hey, I mean, look, good on him if that's what he wants to do. Again, Hollywood marriages not exactly the most stable.
If anything happens, nothing is in his name.
That's unbelievable, man.
And so he will have literally nothing.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Captain Awesome, love your avatar, by the way. Believe it or not, my friend, I am walking on air right now. Well, I'm sitting on air anyway, but it feels good. Good to see you. Good to see you. That's right. Garaf is here. Said Tom needed a real friend relative to have stepped in. Sometimes, man, it doesn't matter.
It does not
right?
matter.
You can't.
Just ask all my friends.
Yeah.
With my first marriage.
I wasn't even there, and I would have stepped in, and it still wouldn't have mattered.
Right? Yeah.
and Stanley says pause career in what term of pregnancy? Evidently the entire thing. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen the particulars. I'm just now learning this actually.
Yeah. I don't. It's probably second trimester and beyond. But it doesn't really matter once they determined and announced that she's pregnant. He's got to kind of put a halt to things.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through it because there's articles you can find, and reported prenup. Yeah. There is information out there if you want to find it and look it up. But yeah, that's interesting. Well, so, I never, prenups are great, but like that doesn't sound like a prenup.
That doesn't sound like a prenup at all.
That just sounds like a normal, you know what I mean? Like a normal wedding.
It's really not even that because he's giving up things that he didn't have to give up.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's weird. I mean, but again, like if he was in the middle of filming, let's say Secret Wars or something, you know what I mean? Like next year. And then all of a sudden it's like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, I guess they just, yeah, I don't know. That's odd. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we could have taken Matthew to Vegas had we known the first go around. Who knows? He may have never come back. He might have stayed in Vegas. What happens in Vegas does stay in Vegas. So let's run through the numbers. Let's run through the numbers really quickly, man. There's not a ton of surprises here. I think it's pretty much kind of status quo. For what we've got. Hopper's number one, still doing well. 90 mil domestic, but
from what I've seen, that's not a kid-friendly film. Ooh.
Yeah. It's
from even people that have seen it from the trailer, I knew that, but from people that have actually seen it, they're saying the same thing.
I mean, not 90 mil domestic. Now, what I hate about this is the numbers has changed their format.
Yeah.
You used to be able to click on the movie. It would take you to domestic and it would take you to all the information. And so now they've changed their site. Like, it's strange. So I'm not even going to mess with it. Reminders of him. Good luck. I couldn't tell you what this movie is. No idea. Scream 7 at holding strong, doing well, obviously.
Good.
Then Goat, Wuthering Heights, The Bride. The Bride it has earned $11 million in 11 days. It's domestically, so it's on a $90 million budget. It is a feminist, like, wet dream of a Bride of Frankenstein story.
I mean, Gyllenhaal's comments were about perfect. It's like, people are scared to give women money to do these things. And so, because of whatever. And it's like, yeah. And guess what? You just set women in filmmaking back 25 years.
Well, and so here's the argument that you hear often. So you have, female directors make up a small percentage of Hollywood. And yet
And there are some really good ones out there.
there are, but what you've also seen is that most of the things they've done don't make any money. So you're right. It ends up setting back, and then these people go to director's jail for a while. They don't get another project, and they've lost money. So then it's like, yeah, you make up a small percentage. Now that I'm not saying that's good, bad, or indifferent. It is what it is. But then you see what's made, and when it doesn't do well, then obviously that's going to set you back, right?
Yeah.
So it is just the nature of the business.
Well, I
Crime
mean,
101. What's
you look
that?
you look at, there's some definitely talented female directors out there. It just depends on how much freedom you give them versus how much control that they actually have. And that goes for any director, not just female directors, but any director, because you look at Patty Jenkins and her working with Zack Snyder made a really good Wonder Woman movie, but then she had free reign in the second one and she blew it.
Well, and a lot of times people will bring up Catherine Bigelow with the Hurt Locker, but then you realize how long ago the Hurt Locker was made, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's been a while. It's like, so it's always like one example that people will bring up, and then it's like, yeah, but it's been a hot minute since that came out.
Yeah, there haven't been any women that have been consistent.
Right.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that later when we get to Buffy.
Yes. Look, I'm gonna tell you, this list is like a who's who of movies that I don't think, from a marketing standpoint, I just don't think anybody really knows much about. Like Crime 101, I can only imagine two.
Yeah.
Send Help. If you're an Avatar fan, then you're good to go with Avatar. Fire and Ash still hanging in there. At 403 million domestically, but nowhere near as huge as the other two movies. And then Anaconda, and then Demon Slayer, in there. I mean, really, that's it. It's a who's who of a whole bunch of March stuff, right?
All the
February,
way down there,
March.
all the way down there, one battle after another. What are the numbers on one battle after another?
It got a little bump after the Oscars. It had 130% weekly change, but ultimately,
so it made $12 instead.
Yeah, I know, right? It's averaging $38 a theater.
I was close.
yeah, actually closer than many people would probably think. And then 3 Star says, I do want to see Send Help, but it's not a theatrical movie. It's I have seen the trailers for it, as far as it being the kind of deserted island, thriller, horror flick kind of thing.
I mean, this is the other thing is what gets butts in seats, right? I mean, he says it's not a theatrical, it's not a theater movie, but they all are designed that way, and they want to get people to the theater, but they're just not doing a good job of showing it or enticing people to want to come see their movie.
Yeah, and that movie, I mean, typically, now that one being filmed on a location that's an island, and maybe a little more expensive, it's a $40 million budget, and it's brought in $64 million domestically.
Okay.
Now I don't know. Obviously,
it's not going to do much better than that, I guess. But
I don't, not after 46 days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at least it had a nice release window, but again, I mean, 64 million domestic, probably not gonna hit that budget, right?
No.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, HK. Yeah, the snacks are definitely making more money. As much as that shit costs when you go to the movie theater.
It's the same thing with gas stations. Gas stations don't make money off of selling gas. They make money off of selling snacks. It's the same way with movie theaters. They don't make money off of selling movie tickets. They make money off of selling snacks.
Yeah, it is insane, dude. I mean, look, it's a common conversation. Everybody has it, multiple times a year when they go to the movies, and then they end up, even if it's just by yourself. But man, it is fucking crazy expensive to just get a Coke and a popcorn. And then heaven forbid you go with somebody else, right? You take your kids. I mean, you know what that's like.
You take more than one kid and your spouse,
Jesus.
And then you're spending $100.
Yep, $100. And then the popcorn buckets, $50 popcorn buckets if you want one, right? Yeah, I gotta admit though, I am a sucker for ices. I ain't gonna
You,
lie.
you know what? You know what gets me is if I'm going to the theater at the right time of day, if I can get a little Pizza Hut personal pan pizza to go with me, the theaters that do that,
Okay.
they kind of got me, right?
I like the little four slicers, baby. I'm down
I
with
mean
that.
it's small,
Quality.
but I mean it's Pizza Hut, so you know it's all brown sugar and garbage, but whatever, it tastes good.
Brown sugar. Oh, she tastes so good. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, what am I
Put
talking
some
about?
sugar on
I don't know about the chocolate covered popcorn though. I don't know if the chocolate covered popcorn is my thing. Um,
I could see where it could be, but
I don't know that I've ever tried it. So that is
no.
that is something I gotta see. Triple D's toy dungeon. Smell that brimstone. You smell what the Triple D's cooking, baby. Actually, don't answer that. Okay. Um, let's talk about One
Discuss.
Piece. Let's talk about One
Discuss.
Piece. How about it? Let's do it. I'm
I
ready.
man.
Okay, chat. I gotta ask you: have you watched One Piece? If you're in a position to answer, um, I really, Matthew. I watched 2 seasons in 2.5 days, and I realized that when I went back to catch up on season one, back on I think Thursday night, I had actually only watched almost the first episode. I thought I had watched more than the first episode of One Piece, the live action on Netflix, and realized that I had only watched probably, I think, 3/4 of the first episode. So I went back and I watched the first episode and then watched the second episode and then the third episode and the fourth. And it snowballed, and I had so much fun
Yeah.
watching this show. Call me late to the party, obviously. I should have been in on this from the get go. But man, like I absolutely adore this live telling of the manga and the anime. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I thought season two was going to have a drop off because that's natural these days, and the review scores, which I don't really look at, are just as high, if not higher, on the back end of season two. But I absolutely loved it. I loved season two, and I couldn't stop watching it. And I hate
Yep.
that we're going to have to wait for season three for so long. So you tell me, about what you think about One Piece, because I dug it.
I, this is probably the greatest adaptation of an anime that I've ever seen done in live action. They take over the top to the next level, and the way they've cast every single character perfectly in this, and I can't imagine anyone else playing these characters at this point. It's going to be really tough for them to get 4 or 5 seasons out of this, and I think they only had a 4 season plan. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but if they can get through 4 seasons and tell the arcs that they want to tell, I think would be amazing. These actors will age out of it, and there won't be a better cast ever, in my opinion, because they hit. I mean, I sent you some images earlier today of the manga, the anime, and the live action, and how they have copied these. I mean, they have done such an amazing job with this. If you like One Piece, the anime, if you like One Piece, the manga, you really should check this out. I'm sure you have. If you have no clue what those things are, check this out for something quirky and fun that is engaging on every single level. And if you just throw yourself into the craziness of this world, you get to see something exciting. You get to see a hero's journey. You get to see somebody excited about life, about adventure, about being a pirate, right? I mean, there's so much to love about this, and everybody is taking it so seriously that you do too. And those emotional beats hit so hard, even with this fully CGI character in season two, right? There's a fully CGI character from
Yeah,
season two,
yeah, it's great.
and you're like, what the hell is this? This is crazy. and you get this whole emotional story wrapped up in this character and why they are who they are and what they can do and all this stuff. And as you can see there, you got the manga, the anime, and then the live action. And I mean, they are taking this to heart. Now, my only concern is one of the major creative people from this show got so fed up with fighting Netflix on keeping it true to the anime, keeping it true to the manga, that he quit the show after the second season here, and the new creative team is taking over for season 3. So I don't know what's going to change on that. But season 1 and 2 are about as perfect as you can get. And it's fun. It's engaging. It will make you want to, it passed the read test, so to speak, as we say with my friends. If you watch this show, you're going to want to read the manga or watch the anime, even though it's thousands of episodes and 40 years of content, right, of manga. You're going to want to go back and maybe start that whole process of going through that and get more detail on all these storylines. And they are rushing a bit of the storyline, but they have divided it up, and the story arc doesn't finish until the next season.
Yeah, I tried to go and look at the anime, so I went and actually started watching it, and it's obviously it's a different pace. And so I tried to look up and see, okay, can I correlate what episodes of the live action can I find in the anime and maybe kind of condense my viewing that way? And there's really no good way to do it.
Well, there is, but you have to go to websites that will tell you how to do it, because you got to go 1,000 episodes deep into the anime to get some of the story parts that are in this series, because they've put together a lot of different things.
Triple D's Teenage Boys Love It. I mean, look, I get it. I get why anime would turn a lot of people off, but as he says here about enjoying the live action, is that sometimes it's just something like that actually you would rather watch, and it could be a stylistic thing. It could just be the fact that maybe just anime is just not your thing, but obviously watching live action shows is.
Yeah. I think Joe Fan 84 just doesn't like fun.
Well, and I actually just saw that. I'm up here. I'm a little higher up with Garaf, saying the more the show gets praised, the more I'm sad Cowboy Bebop was hijacked by Modern Hollywood. Man,
Cowboy Bebop was such garbage. And it could have been so amazing.
Yes. It's a shame that show did kind of end up going down that road. I just didn't. It was just not very good. I didn't think it was acted very well. It just didn't feel cohesive the way this show does. And then Gonzo, I get it, right? I get it. I've gotten distracted by those videos too. Trust me. Bobby Wold's here too. No, we have not talked about Rachel Zegler. Probably won't be going over Rachel Zegler today, Bobby. Pug with Toys is here. Joe Fan, what's going on? And as you said, Joe Fan, is he not a big fan of One Piece? I guess not. It says it's meh. Well, look, I will say this. As this shows you here, season 2 debuted with 16.8 million views in 4 days on Netflix. Now, before we went live, I told you, what does that even mean, Matthew?
Yeah.
What can you parse from 0.8 million view? How does that even come together?
So everybody counts views differently, and I know for some people, especially with piss poor viewing statistics, they view, if you clicked on it, like Amazon Prime, if you clicked on it and watched 10 seconds of it, they count it as a view.
Yeah, see, I'm not a fan.
It used to be that Netflix would count it like YouTube does, that you have to watch at least half of whatever it is for it to count as a view.
Yeah.
And so when I watch things on double speed, I got to watch all the way through so you guys get the view counts, which I do. Just saying.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I started watching shit on two speed 2 times, depending on who it is, and some people it's really hard to gather the information. Some people it makes it so much easier to watch the video.
I am so with you.
Oh my God.
And I love Jerk and Gains and all that stuff. But if you watch a Yojo Jerk, at least his intro, if you watch his intro on 2X, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Don't jerk, as he goes. So I mean, there's no long pauses. It just jumps right into it.
Love it.
It's awesome.
I love it. Yeah, some videos definitely 2 times speed I can get through, but sometimes, man, if it's people that do talk fast and move, it's just hard to gather the info. So
Absolutely.
then I'll kick it down to 1.5, maybe 1.25. But I found myself watching a lot more stuff on a faster speed, and because I always marveled at that. I'm like, how in the hell can you watch everything? But you get used to it.
Used to it. Yeah, exactly. You get used to it, and then everything else seems like it's going at a turtle's pace. It's kind of funny. You know what? One of the other best anime adaptations is Rurouni Kenshin. They made a trilogy of movies that follows that really closely. So that's those two are the only good live action anime adaptations that I've seen.
Sorry,
I missed that.
That comment of Graf said he watches Punk's Motu reviews in 0.25 speed, so they're 4 times longer of an epic experience. I do like cutting it way down sometimes just to start laughing at how weird shit sounds when you watch stuff in a lower speed. It's so good. What's up, 610 Yojo Daddy? Always telling everybody, smash the like button. Smash the like button. Don't be scared. Lick the like button. How about that? Just lick it, right? Clean. It's time to clean your screen. That's what I'm telling you right now. It's my public service message today. Clean your screen and lick that like button.
Maybe not with the tongue, because you probably take it into the toilet with you when you go to the bathroom. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. Maybe not.
So we got Joe Fan. We got Joe Fan to say that it is decent. At least it has moved up from meh to decent. I'll take that all day long. Look, I'll tell you guys, man, if I'm not into something, I'm honest with you. I will tell you that I don't like it for whatever reason. But when I do like something, I'm definitely going to tell you as well. And man, I do. I have really enjoyed watching the show.
It's a lot of fun.
This brings up a conversation that we've had, and we'll have it again. The binge model versus the weekly model.
Look, I will tell you this every single time. If you want to make money, if you want to get ears and eyes on something that you are extremely proud of, you will release it weekly, because every week there will be more viewers than there were the previous week. Now, and it sucks for things that get dropped all at once like this, because we're going to talk about it this week and somebody may talk about it next week, but then it's gone. You get 2 weeks of conversation and it's gone. And we don't hear about it for another 2 years until the next season comes out, or it's already in production. So hopefully next year.
They have started. They've been filming.
But you got to wait a whole year till you get another piece of it. And for those who are on the binge model anyway, they get so frustrated that they forget about it and it's gone. Now, if we had 10 weeks of this show coming out, then we would be talking about it for 10 weeks. And how many more of you would we have gotten to watch the show by us raving about every single episode for 10 weeks?
Because after today, right? Like, and this is really it's not the first time we brought it up. It's the first time we've really talked about it. Just, I think season 2 dropping, obviously, recently, is that, after today, and for those that do watch us, listen to us, we're probably not going to talk about it again. And then it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, unless, the viewer goes and checks it out. And then they go tell somebody at their job or a friend of theirs if they like it. And that's the shame of it, because you're right. There are shows that are built for binging. They're easy, they're quick to get through. But you're right. When it comes to making a lasting impression, when it comes to signing up more people to your service, keep them along for 2 months instead of 1 month worth of service. Keep them for 2 months worth of service by making 8 episodes or 10 episodes.
Well, and remember back in the day when we had 22 to 26 episodes, that's 6 months of broadcast.
Oh gosh, I miss it. I miss it so much.
And if you came in late, guess what? You can still go back and watch it now, because we have this digital technology that allows us to do that. So we don't have to VHS tape everything and you miss it, you're out of luck. No, we can go back and watch it, but we can bring in more viewers every week. And so this is the perfect moment where that weekly drop point is perfect.
Yeah, it is a bummer, man. I mean, I get it. It does make it, I guess, if you want to say, easier for people to be able to watch things they like and they're really into it. Then I guess it makes it easy over the course of a weekend that you can settle in and you can knock stuff out. Now, I do know those people who are quite maniacal when shows are dropped weekly and they wait until it's over so then they can go watch the whole thing. And I get that. But then to me, it's kind of like you kind of miss out on the conversation.
You miss out on the water cooler
conversation.
On. Yeah. I mean, the water cooler conversation is what propels things forward. When I go into work every day and what my patients are talking about, that's what we talk about. Yeah. Right. And if they're talking about a TV show that they watch and it's coming out weekly, man, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, everybody was talking about it every week, just like they used to with the old Game of Thrones. And nobody's talking about Marshalls or whatever that show is about the new Yellowstone spinoff. Nobody's talking about it except for a punk with toys on the terminal list or his show, right?
Right. Well, but I think the thing is like I have a lot of these conversations at work. As a bartender, I get to have conversations about everything. So one of the things I definitely do is try to ask people, hey, is there any new shows you're watching? What do you like? And I've got a couples that are fantastic about it. They have every service. They're telling me stuff, and then I'm telling them stuff. But if there's a show I like, I usually try to bring that into the conversation and recommend stuff to people because it's easy where I'm at. It's obviously people hanging out drinking loose. You can talk about anything, and so they know I stream this and that. So it's great conversation. I've definitely talked about this show and obviously Night of the Seven Kingdoms and everything else we've talked about. But it is a shame because as good as this is and as many million views in 4 days as it got on Netflix, at the same token, in 2 weeks, there's the wait, right?
Yeah, nobody's gonna be talking about it till the next season comes out or just before the next season comes out.
I'll tell you, if VHS quality was better, like
if it was Betamax quality,
yeah,
because Betamax was the industry standard for all format communications, and because the porn industry and Disney decided to side with VHS, that's what we got.
Well, and I mean, I'm sorry, folks, but the prawn is going to win out every time. Check your browser settings. All right, so
hey, it's also why we got Blu-ray. Is Sony, Disney, and the prawn industry is why we got Blu-ray over HD DVDs.
Right. So I want to talk about something that I finished up today, and I'm not going to go into spoilers. I don't want to do that for anybody interested. I did finish up Primal Season 3. It is the continuation of Spears' story, even though it was supposed to end last season.
I mean, he died.
He died. If you've watched any of the first few episodes or any of the season, you realize he gets resurrected. Okay, I will say that. I'm not going to say a lot more than that for those that haven't seen it. Look, I still enjoy the show. I love the animation. I think the team that he's got working on this is fantastic. The animation has only gotten better in subsequent seasons, and it looks fantastic.
Did you watch Samurai Jack back in the day?
I watched a little bit of Samurai Jack, but I wasn't. There were other shows around at that time on Adult Swim that I watched more so. Yeah. And then it would just be on, right? I'd have it on, but I didn't watch it the way that I have this. And obviously the Clone Wars, movie that he did, special that he did. And Dexter's Laboratory, but that was a little less after my time in a way. At that time of my life anyway, watching like animation and stuff like that.
Man, I've never gotten out of it. So Samurai Jack was my jam. I loved that show.
I could totally see, and it is that style of his that he has.
And what was great was I knew some people that were just a little bit older than me, not by much, but they were sharing it with their kids. And their kids loved it, and so that was their bonding moment was Samurai Jack. This show, I like the first two seasons. I haven't finished the third season. I'm sure I will at some point, but the third season just didn't grab me like the first two.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the last 3 episodes, I kind of found myself hitting the 10-second forward button a few times during certain action scenes. Um, I don't know how he came up with this story. Obviously, he tried to write something else. It didn't feel right to him, so this is what he did. I like it. I don't like it as much as the first season. I didn't like the second season as much as the first season. And then this season, I like less because I think the story, unfortunately, is predictable. And like you said a few minutes ago, that can be okay how you get there.
Yeah.
But I think this story being as predictable as it is, and you know where it's going, and you really kind of know how it's going to end up. But there are some fantastic scenes. There's some fantastic action in it. It just doesn't quite have, as Turk says, that new Dukes of Hazzard episode excitement. It doesn't have that for sure. There's no Boss Hog. Yeah, it just, it ended the way I thought it was going to end. And there was not a lot of variation in it. A little bit of a twist, not much. So, for those of you that are kind of halfway through or just starting on it, let me know what you think. Let me know if you feel the same way that I do about it. It didn't live up to what I was hoping. And I wonder if feedback for next season might have him actually turn it into an anthology type of show, which is what he originally planned to do.
Right.
With different characters and stuff. I have a feeling that's going to happen. I don't think there's anything left to tell here. Bobby Wold says, I don't feel excited for the majority of entertainment coming out like I did when I was a kid. Felt like there was so much variety back then. Nowadays, everything is pretty much the same storyline. What do you think about that?
I don't think you're wrong. I think that back in our day, back in the days before all this stuff, this digital revolution, that there weren't as many options to get storytelling out there. And so with so few options, the storytelling had to be truly engaging to get people to watch it. So the only things that would air are things that were truly engaging. Now the digital revolution came in and gave us 8 times as many channels to view stuff on as we had previously. And so now with 8 times the broadcast, you got to fill up all that stuff with broadcast. So people are just throwing a bunch of crap on the wall to see what sticks. And this is the problem, is that there's so much content out there that very little of it is actually good or worth a darn. And our standards have lowered so much that people like Alien Romulus, right? I mean, not that it's a bad movie, but they're praising it as high art when it's mediocre, right? So our standards have lowered because of the amount of garbage that's out there that we've been forced to consume.
Yeah, they're filling time. You've got a service, you have to fill it with something, and that's why you could scroll down Netflix for 40 minutes and then end up doing something else. Like you don't even pick something to watch. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. Like just gone to each service. If it wasn't something specific that I'm watching at the time, and then just sat there and kind of looked and looked and then looked and then ended up not watching anything. And it's because I don't know that everything's necessarily the same story, but I think that just the value, the production value, the writing is not very good because, like you said, they're trying to give you so much content. Maybe that's their way of making you think you're getting value for paying $20 a month or whatever it is you're paying. That you're like, God, there's so much to choose from. But it's just like, to me, collecting MP3s. You'll never listen to all the music that you collect, right? If you bought an album, you listen to it front to back, a cassette tape even. But once you start collecting music or streaming music, it's like you'll never ever listen
No,
to hundreds of thousands of songs. You
no
keep
way.
going to the same stuff.
You do, and that goes back to a conversation I had with you offline earlier in this week. Is that Professor Rock did his top 10 favorite songs,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, I don't know how I could break that down because there's so many that were meant so much to me. I said I could maybe break down albums, but these are albums that I listened to front to back so many times over and over again. You can't do that with anything comes out now because again, there's
No.
so much content out there that you can't. If you want to experience the next thing that's going to excite you like this other thing did, well, why not just go back to that other thing that already excited you and go back and reabsorb that? And that's what people are going to. That's why nostalgia is so high right now.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
and is because there's so much stuff out there that nobody cares about or can make a connection to. And then even if you do, it becomes this niche thing and it's still related back to this other stuff in the past. And nostalgia has gotten away from us, and that's where we are.
The other part of this, of his comment talking about not, back in the day, you'd watch stuff multiple times. You'd watch, VH. You'd watch Back to the Future multiple times. Whatever movie it is, we ran 100 something movies. I also feel like we've also been trained now to move on to the next thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we all still go back to our go-tos, but any new content, any new stuff coming out, I agree. I don't think that people go back and watch it again and then again, like maybe what shows or movies from years past.
Yep.
And I think in a way we have subconsciously been trained to move on, like reading your news on your phone, right? And then there's a story, everybody's up in arms over it for a day or two, and then we move past it because we're looking for the next story, right? We're looking for the next thing. And I think we've kind of subconsciously been trained to not really absorb stuff the way we used to, but just kind of you watch it and then you just move on. But I also think that a lot of the stuff, even some of the better things that we like to watch, still doesn't hold up to a lot of the things that are considered the classics.
Yep.
Even though there's some new stuff that's written well and filmed well and acted well, but it still doesn't meet that same level that we used to get. And therefore, I think in our minds even, it's still not there.
Yeah. So, for instance, Christmas season comes around and there's a list of movies that we have to watch every year, but we kind of have to swap some in and out because of time. And so we don't get to watch them all anymore. There are movies and TV series that I like to watch every year. Babylon 5. I like to go through all of that. I like to go through Star Trek, the original series, or Deep Space Nine, or something else. This year we're doing Next Generation. But it used to be every year I would do a full watch through of Babylon 5. I would do a Lord of the Rings marathon, or I would watch all those movies at least once a year. Farscape, Firefly. There are these things that are out there that I would want to watch every single year. I'd want to make sure that I could do that. I can't do that anymore because of how much content is out there and how much time is available.
That's also part of, I think, getting older, right? If we think back to years past, we probably didn't have as many responsibilities. We were able to kind of watch and do whenever, whatever. And so I agree. I think, time in a way gets in the way of you maybe either watching more stuff. But I think the comment is, I think, more about quality.
Yeah.
Right. More about quality than
absolutely.
If there's something that's quality, people will make time, I think, to actually, watch it. There's not as much quality stuff, and therefore we just have fewer real choices, where we actually have a million choices over streaming now, but it seems like we have fewer options.
Yeah, no, that works perfectly the way you said it there, because it does. It comes down to quality.
I mean, it's I don't know. That just to me, um, we get one or two really great things, and then a bunch of garbage. And don't look, all throughout history, there's been TV shows that were made and greenlit that lasted 8 episodes and got
Well,
canceled. You know,
well,
on ABC.
or
I
even
mean,
less than that.
right.
Nathan Fillion's Drive. It aired 3 episodes. They canceled it, but 6 episodes were made, so they released that on DVD at some point, right? So you get a whole bunch of stuff like that, stuff that
Yeah.
never gets released ever again. And Nolan's comment there, I don't quite understand it, but all I have to say is, everywhere you go, there you are.
Yeah, it's that's one of my favorite sayings, actually. No matter where you go, there you are. I
I
love
mean,
it.
Buckaroo Banzai, man. It is the craziest, stupidest movie ever, but it's worth a watch at least once or twice in your life.
So you mentioned Nathan Fillion, which we've heard there's a Firefly animation coming out. But we also got some information about the planned Buffy.
Well, I do want to talk about that Firefly thing after we get
Sure.
done with this too.
So the Buffy reboot got canned, and
No.
Sarah Michelle Gellar came out with a video on social media. She said that Hulu opted not to pick it up. She has since kind of spoken a little bit after the fact, after she made that video.
Yeah.
But there's a few things that we kind of got privy to, some script leaks. And this is off of Geeks and Gamers, which there are other articles out there that you can find. But evidently, there's one thing that this show seemed to, this reboot seemed to embody. To me, from what I've seen and read, is that not only was she not a big part of the reboot, from what I've read, I don't know if the term woke is appropriate enough. It has got, there's some very feminist ideals. There's some language in here that would not play well on camera. It would not play well to audiences. I cannot imagine, for instance, this set of dialogue right here. Okay, this is a leaked dialogue. And this is an exchange that's been making the rounds online, okay? And it says here, the tone doesn't resemble the quick character-driven writing that defined the original series. Instead, it comes across like modern feminist social commentary, awkwardly inserted into a scene. So you have two characters talking to each other. One is Stacy, and this is part of the script. It says, "You could have at least defended me." And then Chris says, "I don't want to take your agency, babe. You hate it when I dim your light." And Stacy says, "That is so you, trying to weaponize my feminism against me. I'm going home." Can you imagine just those 3 lines of dialogue on screen in a Buffy show? And that's just one. You sent me several pages.
So I've got many pages of the script.
Yes.
And there's a couple of them that I kind of want to go over, but this is the one that kind of leaked out, and everybody's like, "Oh, this was just a temporary script." I said, "No, this is actually kind of what they filmed for that first episode." So this was already kind of locked down, right? So you can say what you want about it, that they weren't complete, but guess what? They had done this, and Sarah Michelle Gellar's character wasn't in it until the last minute of the broadcast. And you want to know what happened there? She basically is a nobody who works at an insurance company, living a boring ass life, being Ann Summers. Oh my gosh, Ann Summers, what an Easter egg. Yes, she played that character when she was trying to get a job at a fast food restaurant and work at the school. Whatever. Basically, she's a nobody nothing living in this world. Okay, so if you're a fan of Buffy the Vampire, the TV series, and Angel, the TV series, those shows ended with thousands of Slayers being activated and Buffy being in charge of a whole organization to try and bring these Slayers in. It's a whole new Watcher situation. Watcher, and then Buffy's trying to train them up, and the Watchers are trying to train them up. You've got these people all over the globe that are now Slayers. And there's this massive movement happening to stop evil from coming about. Okay, so that's where the series ended. Now you're basically telling me this never happened. You're recreating Sunnydale, and you're building it right over a new Hellmouth. Or I guess that's what you're doing. I don't know, but I mean, the reason that Sunnydale was destroyed is because they had to collapse the Hellmouth, and that's what they did. And now there's another Hellmouth, and you're building another Sunnydale on top of it to bring all these people to their deaths. I mean, the premise is pretty ridiculous. And on top of it, the whole world, especially in this Sunnydale universe, worships Sunnydale. They worship Buffy. They worship everybody. They should be worshiping Giles as the Watcher who helped them through all this. But apparently he's some dusty old bookworm, and the library's run down. There's a whole library scene in here in the script that goes through the library. Is all run down, and Giles built it to his specifications with dust and all, because his library was dusty, right? Because it had all those books in it.
Right.
And books are dumb. And this goes back to Idiocracy. Books are dumb. I got to hit the button. Got to hit the button. You know, when they make fun of smart people, right? And this show is making fun of smart people because it's so freaking dumb.
It's like just kind of scrolling through some of the script pages, but also kind of understanding that I think if you're going to try to reboot any show that Joss Whedon was a part of, then if you don't have Joss Whedon a part of it, I don't know how you go about doing it.
Now, let me preface by saying Joss Whedon is a jerk. He might even be an asshole. But you can't find one instance where he committed a crime, where he has been prosecuted civilly or criminally for any acts that people associate with him. So he was basically shunned because he was a male feminist. And by every definition, he was a male feminist because he was a fucking asshole. Okay? And so he basically accepted his fate and has become persona non grata. Now, this show, because the actress Sarah Michelle Gellar was one of those people that railed against him when Gal Gadot and Ray Fisher started coming out against him, and then she comes out against him, and some other people did too, and they start trashing this man, and he's like, okay, I don't want to deal with this, I'm out. But his passion was writing. No one in the history of the world has been able to copy Whedon speak like Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
He created Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He did a movie called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it didn't have Sarah Michelle Gellar in it. Guess what? Did a TV series. It had Sarah Michelle Gellar in it. Guess what? Buffy the Vampire Slayer does not require Sarah Michelle Gellar to continue. And
No.
after her shenanigans in the past 2 weeks, it will not include her because she threw executives under the bus.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Now, what I find interesting about this, because it had Chloe Zhao also attached with
famously known for the Eternals, one of the biggest flops in all of Marvel cinematic history.
So that already. But what's interesting is Sarah Michelle Gellar comes out and she basically says that there was an executive that basically was talking about how proud he was that he had never watched the show before.
Now,
he was proud that he had never watched it, and he made that very well known to the team. And
no. This is Sarah Michelle Gellar's interpretation.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. This is what she said. That's what I'm saying. She says we had an executive on our show.
It's not necessarily true.
I agree, but I'm just telling you what she said. This is what she said. She said we had an executive on our show who was not only not a fan of the original, but was proud to constantly remind us he had never seen the entirety of the series and how it wasn't for him. Now, after that, when Chloe Zhao was asked about it the next day, she told Variety and CNN she was not surprised the show was axed, but she didn't go into any detail about a executive. She didn't say
Yeah.
anything about, that there was someone who didn't like it or never seen it. She literally just said she had a great time working on it with the crew and was trying to be truthful to the fans, yada, yada.
Now,
But there was no anything about an executive or anything like that. It just that she was not surprised that the show got canceled. And to me, that sounds like two different things. One
okay,
sounds like it wasn't good enough, and the other one just sounds like she's pissed off that it didn't
she's
get.
pissed off, and she pissed off this executive, and this executive is going to make sure that she doesn't get shit for quite a long time. And
Yeah.
and you know what? Okay, so there's three prevailing rumors, and then there's the truth. Okay, and one of the prevailing rumors is that people read the scripts and said it was so bad they said, "Fuck this shit, we're out."
I think
Right?
that's more like it.
I mean, that may be fairly close, but there's something more important that happened here. There's the executive. The executive came in and just nuked the whole thing, and they were never on board to begin with. Okay, that's also possible, right? That the third one is that it played too young, it was too small, and it just didn't connect with audiences. Okay, that's also possibly true. But here is what the most inside of insiders have said about the whole thing. Chloe Zhao would not commit to doing the show. She would not commit to a time frame. She would not commit to doing it because she wanted to direct every single episode of the series. And because she wouldn't commit, and the initial agreement was paying for all the pre-production costs. So for every day that they were in pre-production, people were getting money. People were getting paid. Okay. And the studio finally said, no more. We're done.
Yeah.
Because they can't keep paying for pre-production costs when nothing is getting done and no one is committing to anything. So Chloe Zhao put the final nail in the coffin in this because she refused to budge on the fact that she wanted to direct every single episode, which is not something that's feasible. They didn't have any of the original writers. Jane Epstein, Mark Fury, Brian, they didn't have any of the original writers from Mutant Enemy Entertainment. They didn't have Joss. They had nothing to go on but Chloe Zhao and Sarah Michelle Gellar. That's it. So it was going to fail.
I think a disaster in the making, and I really don't know anybody that actually was excited about hearing that news that they were going to do this.
I know a lot of people that were excited about it.
I mean, I think if you step outside and you look inward at who's associated with it, I don't know, man.
Well, okay. But on a premise in its own right, you say Buffy the Vampire Slayer is coming back, and you love those 7 seasons of Buffy and those 5 seasons of Angel, and you love the comic books, and you're a big fan of this universe. You're like,
I can
yes,
see that. Yeah,
I want to see it. But they're blinded by the fact that Sarah Michelle Gellar hated being Buffy. Okay, she railed against the arguably greatest episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, saying that they were terrible episodes. And the fans love these episodes because of the character development, because of the arcs, because of the storytelling. Sarah Michelle Gellar doesn't get her own character that she played for 7 seasons. Okay?
I think,
and that's an actor disconnect. That's okay. You have to have the writing to be timed with a good actor to make something successful. And it worked in this case because Joss had control.
Had it been maybe 10 years ago, then I think maybe it's something that could have come together. I think at this point there's too many pieces missing that it would have derailed it.
Yeah, and, I mean, without Jane Epstein, whatever, I can't say her last name. She worked on Firefly. She worked on this. She worked on several of Joss's products. She would be amazing. David Fury. There's a couple other people that worked at that organization that knew enough of the writing talent that is necessary, and if they had enough control, they could do something. somebody like Drew Goddard or Stephen Knight could do a good job as working with these other people to make something happen. But when you have the writers of Poker Face coming back to write this show, there's going to be problems.
Oh God.
And you've got Chloe Zhao and Sarah Michelle Gellar who hate Joss and hated being Buffy, but are trying to do something with the product. It's doomed to failure on so many levels.
So speaking of people who tend to work on things that they don't like, okay? I wanted to get your take on this story here.
Hold on, we haven't talked about Firefly.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, because you'll know more about this animated than I do.
Yeah. So I love Nathan Fillion. I love Alan Tudyk. I love every single person who was involved with the show Firefly. I was a major part of the movement to get the movie made. I went to all the Serenity Now screenings when Joss preached his feminist propaganda, but at the same time, you got a great, rewatching or movie screening. We did all these pre-screenings. We dressed up and we went out and we saw the Serenity movie when it came out. But there just weren't enough of us to keep it going. So it was done. And that's sad, but we all wanted it to come back. And so we were always trying to get it to come back in some fashion. I proselytized everybody. I passed out so many copies of the Firefly DVD set. It's not even funny. Everybody that I could see would get a chance to watch it because I would give them a copy of the DVDs. Right. I mean, this show was amazing. It's probably one of the best first seasons of television that I've ever seen. There's only like 3 of them that even come close, in my opinion. And now you want to bring these people back to do something. Well, shit. I mean, it's 25 years later. Yeah. All these people have moved on. And some of them aren't even in acting anymore. And then you go around and do this promotion where you get everybody back and you're like knocking on their doors and doing all this thing. And Alan and Nathan are doing a podcast together. And every time Alan's done very successful things. Nathan, when he does a series, it's successful. When Angel Boreanaz does a series, it's successful, right? So these people are successful in their own right. You bring all these people back together and then you throw it out there. Hey, we want to do animation, but we don't have money to do it. But we've got writers and we've got this and we've got that and we've got this, but we don't have a way to get it to you. We don't have a production company. We don't have X, Y, and Z. They're missing some of the fundamental elements that you need. And he's trying to pitch it. I get it. You're trying to pitch it. Disney Plus, the one who puts up Willow, the one who puts up Ironheart, said, hey, we love it. We love that you want to do this. But no, you can't do it here. Okay, that's messed up. Because if there was any thought that this would be successful on any level, Disney Plus would have jumped at the chance to do something exciting with the brand. But they didn't. So this leads me to believe this is a hope and a prayer. They have come together and they want to do this and they say they're willing to do this. This will last 3 months, 6 months at best, right? If something doesn't happen in the next 6 months, this will never happen.
Yeah.
And it's going to be animated. Nobody gives a shit about animation.
No.
Unfortunately, in the Western culture, you don't. And some of the best stuff does get created with animation. And you're telling interquels, right? You're telling after the series, before the movie, what's taking place. Okay, what do we do about Book? Because Ron Glass has passed away. What do we do about the character Book?
Well, in animation, you obviously can
you
get
recast.
Yes.
You recast Michael Dorn or LeVar Burton or somebody else to play that part, and then you go on. But without the writing of Joss Whedon, without the storytelling of Jane Espenson, how do you move forward with any of this? The writers that you talked about, you may be excited about, but do they really understand what Firefly was about.
I mean, from this character, concept art here, uh, they're announcing it at like a con, uh, I would probably have held off on that until you had something concrete.
They feel like they have enough to announce it to try and generate the next
Right.
bump of excitement to get to the next level. But I think
Animation is just.
I think you got to move past it.
I agree, and I think that
It's
animation
over.
is not really, it doesn't really capture anybody. It would have money spent on it, and it probably would not really reap any money in. It you know what I mean? Like it would just be another show that you could throw into the bin of they spent money on this project. Maybe it's a write off. Maybe it's a shell game. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? I mean, they crowdfunded and got Con Man made, and they made 2 seasons of the TV show Con Man, and that was Alan Tudyk's dream passion that he wanted to do, and they got it
Right.
made. And it's really good. It's entertaining. If you want to go watch it, watch it. I highly recommend it. But at the same time, they should have crowdfunded this. They should have done something other
Yeah.
than just putting it out there. And now they're begging for somebody to say, "Hey, notice us, come give us money so that we can finish this." And I
And
don't know that that's going to be a successful route.
yeah, there's really in this article and Deadline, just kind of scrolling through it. There's really nothing concrete that says, "Hey,
There
this is
isn't.
picked up by here.
No.
This is being," it just literally is an announcement that, "Hey, we've got the co-stars. We're ready to do this. Here's some concept art, but there's nothing here. Like
So,
there's really nothing here."
okay, Kevin Smith, right? He made this little $16 million movie on extremely low budget, right? And it becomes popular enough that he gets to make a whole bunch more movies. And when those movies come out and they make money or whatever, and he wants to continue the universe, but he doesn't have an avenue to do it. You know what he did? He created an animated television series. And it was all
Yeah.
about Jay and Silent Bob. And he did this all through animation. So he's had that experience already. Was it good? It was okay. Does it add anything to the universe? I would skip it. I watched it once. I don't think I'd ever watch it again, even though I love his first run of movies. Right? I mean, this is it's gonna fall into nothingness, even if it gets made.
Yeah, no, I mean, and for somebody like yourself and other people that are huge fans, I mean, that's not, look, if it came out, I'm sure you would watch it.
I would absolutely watch it because, I mean, I have every incarnation of the Gale Force 9 board game, tabletop game that goes through all aspects of the TV show and movie. I've got a replica of Malcolm Reynolds' pistol sitting on my mantle back there in my office. I've got Jason Palmer artwork that is signed by every original cast member. All 9 of them, including Ron Glass, is on this, right? I am a huge fan. Gina Torres loved my wife's costume when we met her, and we were in line, and we met all of them to sign our Jason Palmer thing because they were all at one convention. We had gotten a couple before that, but anyway, Gina was there, and she stopped. We were in a different line. We were in Jewel State's line or something. She stopped what she was doing. She stood up and yelled out to my wife in another line, saying how much she loved her Zoe costume that my wife had on. And it was one of those moments that we're like, oh my God, Gina Torres, she's calling us out right here on the stage, on the floor, as we're waiting in line. We've had such great interactions with every single cast member. It is something that I am very passionate about, but I got to say, I don't see a future for it at this time ever again, really. I mean, it's done.
Yeah, and I'm with Graf, the Morena Baccarin factor. Uh, even now, I mean, come on, it's not even
She's
fair.
great. No, it really isn't. And she was cast perfectly in Firefly.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, she did this TV show called V, the
Oh
revamp,
God,
and that
so
wasn't as good.
disappointing. So disappointed. I was so disappointed with V, man. I
I
was
love the
all
original.
in too, and they got the chick from Lost,
Yep.
the blonde chick that played Sawyer's gal. Uh,
Hey, look, I love the
oh,
original V,
she's like,
the original miniseries, the original two miniseries, not the TV series, the original two
oh yeah,
miniseries
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
were good. But I mean, Deadpool, Marina Baccarin didn't really understand Deadpool
She
and,
didn't have to.
until after the fact, and it was like, okay, it's this thing, and I mean, she plays a
Nah,
certain kind of
she.
character really well.
Yeah. Yes. Now in V, however, they definitely had her outfit was fantastic.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. I still don't think that she holds a candle to the '80s Diana, but
No, no, everybody had a crush on that chick, especially when she grabs a mouse and just swallows it whole. Oh
deep
yeah,
throats
deep
that
throat.
mouse.
Oh shit! You got me there. Oh, it's good. Yes, as a young lad, I'll never forget that scene ever. And the fact that they brought her into the reboot was interesting, right?
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like just too little, too late.
yeah,
So I did want to bring up this story with you, and I had it up on the
yeah, yeah.
screen for a minute.
So yeah,
So for lanterns, there's been a bit of controversy because, as I mentioned earlier, it's interesting when these shows get into production and they bring in writers, they bring in people to work on them who don't care, don't like the material, they don't read the source material, they're not fans. A lot of times these companies don't want people who are fans of the
right.
original material because they want them to give their own take on this story. They don't want them to know any history.
Yep.
So Damon Lindelof of Lost fame in particular was really his biggest thing with
And what
J.J.
else?
Abrams.
But we gotta talk about what else he
We
did.
know he was associated with the Watchmen TV series, which was an absolute piece of shit.
Yep.
So
If you look at most of his history,
it's not good.
it is not
No,
good.
it's not good. And Lost started out great. Obviously, finished up very weak. I did stick around for the whole thing, though.
That
I
is
felt
all J.J.
obligated.
Abrams' fault,
Yes,
but
yes.
Lindelof had a hand in it.
So Damon Lindelof is this article on Geeks and Gamers. It's kind of all started out because he's backtracking now, but
Yeah,
he had
no shit.
he had a throwaway line talking about the lore of Green Lantern being stupid, and he was talking about the fact of not
Now,
using the word green
now, hold on a second.
in the show.
Let's preface this.
Okay,
This is a comedy interview. This is a comedy show that he's on, right? So he's being a little self-deprecating, right? I mean, you can see this happening. You can see this
right.
happening very easily where he starts making fun of himself in the project that he's on and then regretting his words later. You could see this happening.
And the comment is just this. It says it's called lanterns because we all agreed the green was stupid. Now,
And you
I'm
have
with,
to understand that if it wasn't him, somebody did say this.
I'm sure that this came up because when we look at the costume that was shown, which is right here, when we look at the tone of the show, which is brown, it would rub people the wrong way.
Yep.
And when you bring someone in to work on something, the last thing fans want to hear is someone dismissing the lore or even the name. We've seen it with Star Wars, even, right? We've seen it with a lot of projects recently. And so Grant Morrison kind of took issue with this, okay? And he took to I guess social media. It says, unlike a lot of comic industry voices that tend to dance around these Hollywood situations, and a lot of times these guys dance around it because they want their stuff adapted.
That's right.
So Morrison went straight at the issue, made it clear he wasn't buying Lindelof's flippant attitude toward the source material. He, quote, TV writer producer Damon Lindelof's comments notwithstanding, the green in Green Lantern's green is not stupid. He wrote, says, let's see here. He says, why does a writer attach himself to this kind of narrative if he thinks it's fundamentally stupid? And then came the part Hollywood never seems.
Oh, shit. Fuck. Is that me? Am I frozen? Damn it.
The fans that you have built into a property.
Is that me or him? Am I frozen? Shit.
That out. Still there?
Yeah, was that me?
No, I think it might have been me.
Okay.
Although
Pop is freezing. Okay, I'm okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it should be back now, but
okay.
Yeah, I just got circles for some reason.
Yeah.
You never know. But you know, per this article, it is a thing that we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Which is why bring in people and then have those people alienate the very people who would be most supportive of your product.
Right.
That would tell other people, that would bring in other people, you know. And we see it all the time, you know, and it's a common thing with a lot of these shows and a lot of these productions that they dismiss the fans. They don't want those fans.
Right.
And then at that time, then what do you have, right? Now,
well, I mean, didn't he even actually say, it's like, I've heard somebody say this recently where it's like, why do you want to alienate your fan base? Why not create something that brings them in and they talk about it more and it gets out there? And it's what we've been saying for 10 years now, is that you have to cater to the fan base, but then expand it so that they want to bring other people in. Right. But it's got to be good enough to do that. And Damon Lindelof is not real good with sticking to a script. Right.
No.
You know, he's not real good with understanding source material. He's not real good with understanding the fundamental purpose of something.
Now he did come out, okay, on social media,
and I gotta give him credit for this.
Yes,
this was a rare moment of self-reflection from the Hollywood elite,
and this makes sense because you know I don't want to read the whole thing, but basically saying that he says this is Damon Lindelof says, I've upset Grant Morrison, which means I've now pissed off most of the brilliant British Scottish comic writers that I grew up idolizing. I made a dumb joke on a comedy podcast. I'm not going to bob and weave about context. The joke was dumb. The fandom is not, and I owe them an explanation. He talks about being on a Comic-Con panel back in 2004 for the Lost pilot. He had a Green Lantern shirt on, which you can see right here. That's him with the shirt. And that is him. Look at that. Matthew Fox. Holy shit. One of the what's his name? This is the cast right here from Lost. Look how young they look.
Yeah, I know, right?
There's two people that were in Lord of the Rings, by the way, or at least a somewhat Lord of the Rings. All right. So anyway, it says first time I appeared on a Comic-Con panel. I wore my favorite T-shirt, and he says for a quiet, uncoordinated kid, there was nothing cooler than a hero whose superpower was his imagination. Green is not stupid. It's my lifelong favorite color, and I have a questionnaire that I filled out in 3rd grade to prove it.
Now he's going a little overboard.
It's a little overboard with this kind of stuff.
It's a little overboard, but I appreciate the fact that he's taking responsibility for his comments. So I got to give him credit for that. But I don't think that he's a good showrunner. I don't think he's a good script writer or reader. He misses the point on so many things.
Yeah, it's, you know, and look, he talks about, you know, obviously, you know, being a fan of Green Lantern and the characters and all that stuff, and, you know, can't wait till everybody gets a chance to see the characters and everything. the bottom line for me is I don't think this show is going to be very good.
No.
It doesn't have any. They have shown nothing that would make a Green Lantern fan be interested in
Nope.
this show.
No, anybody who loves Green Lantern is not going to watch this show based off of that trailer because they're going to see through the problems with it. I mean, Hal Jordan is making fun of alien species like a squirrel. So what do you think about his best friend Kilowog? How's he going to relate to Kilowog if this is it? Also, he gives John his ring to use. That's not the way the rings work.
Yeah,
The rings
I
are
didn't understand that.
individualized. The rings are individualized, and when a ring holder passes away, it searches the galaxy to find somebody appropriate that has similar qualities to the last ring bearer to bear the new ring. So
Right.
you can only use the ring that you were gifted. You can't use someone else's ring. And now you're stuck on Earth. You're not dealing with cosmic events. The Green Lantern Corps is to deal with cosmic events. It's not to deal with things on Earth because
Yeah, I don't get the premise of this show going into a small town to solve a murder or somehow stumbling into like I don't get it
like
yet.
it doesn't make sense. The Green Lantern Corps would not do anything like this because this does nothing to affect the global or the universal effect of cosmic law, and that's what they enforce. And because the Earth is so central to a lot of events, that's why they have so many Green Lanterns, because apparently you can't have one Green Lantern if another one's alive. So you know they have to kill Hal at the end of this to make John Stewart the Green Lantern. But then they run into the problem with, where does Guy Gardner come in? John Stewart's got to die before Guy Gardner can take over if this takes place in the past. So you've painted yourself into a corner that you can't get out of already with the freaking trailer, and we haven't even seen an episode yet.
Yeah, you need to grab people right off the get go. It is just so crucial nowadays to get them excited. And as Nolan says, and I think a lot of people feel this way after seeing that trailer, is that it might be a good buddy cop show. But it's not Green Lantern. I think if
You know what it might
want to
be?
watch Green Lantern, you want to see something cosmic. You want to see something that's fun. This seems like true detective. This is what this reminds me of, like
This
True
might
Detective.
be this might be the Sam Wilson Bucky Barnes show that we
Oh
wanted to
God.
get.
Well,
This is
yeah.
what should have been Sam Jones or John Stewart and Hal Jordan should be the Sam Wilson Bucky Barnes show. Right. This is what should
Right.
have been with the Falcon Winter Soldier story, and we're going to get it here because we didn't get it there. But it's not going to make sense here because it's different context. But
Yeah,
it's so frustrating.
I don't know. I mean, it does not. It just seems like. And look, I know James Gunn is not in charge of this. This is not. He's not. His hands, at least, don't seem to really be on this. But it just
Well, they
seems like
are because he's in charge of it. But
yes, ultimately. And so it's just like one misfire after another after another.
one battle after another.
Ooh, one battle after another. Yeah, your favorite film of the year, by the way. I know it was. Yeah, this is again another misfire. Look, I like the fact that he apologized. I think
I
it's a
do.
little overboard, but
But I'm glad he took responsibility for his
right.
comments.
So we'll see. We'll see if he's able to make it up with the the show. His writing generally is not good, so we'll find out when Lanterns comes out. I think a lot of people at this point are fans that are probably very very apprehensive over it, and I could understand why.
If you're a fan of Green Lantern, I can't see how you're going to be excited about this show at all.
Right. So you mentioned one battle after another. I wanted to bring up the Oscars from Sunday because just when you had news reports and you had maybe this thing about how Hollywood's kind of learned their lesson. They're not bringing up politics as often in their thank you speeches, or the hosts aren't bringing it up here, there, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't matter because the Oscars fall to 17.9 million viewers, the lowest since 2022. and it was off.
No, hold on. Let's put that into context for a minute. That may sound like, oh, it's not so bad, 2022. But then you got to realize, what were the Oscar ratings in 1996, in 1998? Right. When Billy Crystal and Whoopi Goldberg were hosting the Oscars. Hell, what were they in 2012?
Yeah, right? 2012, 2016.
I mean, the Oscar ratings were off the freaking charts.
And you had a host who I think is generally liked in Conan O'Brien, who probably is
not Conan.
Whatever. Look. He is
no Conan.
He is definitely the Conan. He was the Conan of the late night talk scene after Letterman left. I can tell you that. I don't even understand why his show. I mean, it was far superior to any of the people that are on now, especially. And yet, for some reason, he just kind of got bumped around, man. Dude is funny. I mean, genuinely funny, but pretty non-offensive host, right? If it was Jimmy Kimmel hosting this thing, I think there'd be a lot of people that had a lot of problems. But even
nobody likes the Jimmies. Get rid of the Jimmies.
Right.
It's the feminist movement that's part of that.
But yeah, 17 million. I think the demographic they want, the 18 to 49, is not tuning in for this stuff. I think younger adults do not give a shit. They do not care.
Now, a friend of mine, I mean, they've done this for a while, but this year, it hasn't been done in a while. They put out an email inviting everybody over to their house for an Oscar watch party. And I'm like, okay, we used to go over there and do the Game of Thrones things. And I understand, the Oscars, Super Bowl, whatever. Yeah. And so that they're always trying to hit those events. And then they did an Oscar one. And I don't think anybody showed up. I mean,
I believe it.
I mean, I love to go hang out with you guys. You guys are great people. I love hanging out with you. But if we're going to watch the Oscars, I got better things to do. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it obviously seems like most people did. And I think these awards shows fall further and further. I think the Grammys are irrelevant now, to where people don't even care, even the performances. At least you used to be able to tune in to the Grammys and see, maybe your favorite artist or band or maybe.
I mean,
whatever.
You had entire performances at this Oscars to shun or debase Timothée Chalamet, one of the greatest actors of our current era. Well, because he said something you don't like.
There's a headline. I believe it's either Variety or Hollywood Reporter. It was the top story, and it was basically saying that now that the Oscars is over, that we have several months to get away from Timothée Chalamet so that people can like him again because he's overexposed. This is the top. It's not like Hollywood Reporter, and they're like, we're sick of this guy. So we can't wait till December.
You're sick of this guy, but nobody else is, because Timothée Chalamet is one of the greatest actors that we have seen in so long. We have seen him in so many different roles. I mean, you think about the movies that he's been a part of, and everyone's like, oh, look at Dune. Okay, Dune. No, not fucking Dune. Look at his other catalog of events. I mean, Bob Dylan, he killed it in that freaking movie. That movie was amazing. And it was greatly due to Timothée Chalamet's portrayal of Bob fucking Dylan, because he learned to play the guitar for that role. Okay. He's throwing himself into these roles, and he's doing what old actors used to do. And that is pay attention to his craft.
Yeah.
Learn how to become something else. And you guys are throwing him under the bus because he gives some comments about ballet.
I think
whatever.
It's because, the new hotness, right? And there's a lot of jealous people out there.
And that is Hollywood. They are a backstabbing, conniving organization.
And I think that it's one of those things where we saw with even like DiCaprio. I could see the same scenario where he doesn't win an award until he's like 40 years old.
Well, unfortunately, that may be the case. But I mean, you look at DiCaprio and look at his girlfriend that he brought to this movie, or this presentation, right? I mean, he brought Greta Thunberg.
Jesus Christ!
Right? I mean, his girlfriends have to be under 30 years old.
That picture is so stark and like It is you want to talk about two people that came, like one that hit every branch on the way down the tree, right? Let me see if I can find it real quick, just to because like this is
I
is
mean, I can't even believe this motherfucker was nominated for the worst performance of his entire life.
this
He
this
gets nominated for his worst performance
okay,
ever, and he
folks.
shows up with Greta Thunberg.
I just want you to, look at this picture, okay? And I want you to realize, like, look carefully. Look at, and this is not even a great picture of Leo, by the way, right here. But I just want you to look, and you may cover your eyes after a couple seconds because it's very stark. Yeah.
Okay, so let's put this into context now.
That
Leo,
is
Leo
freaky,
DiCaprio.
dude. That is freaky.
Leo is 51 years old. Greta is 23. Okay. Now, this goes to Leo dumps all of his girlfriends when they hit the age of 30, right? So he can't have a girlfriend over the age of 30. Now, at least Tom Cruise gives him to like 33, 35 ish before he dumps them, right?
This picture is like, look at her. She has that Antifa cut. She has the protest cut. That haircut is the I'm a professional paid protester haircut. That's what that is.
No. It would be dyed blue if it was. But
no, dude, yeah, but the style is
yeah.
that is but isn't that fucking hideous? I'm sorry, folks. It looks like AI. It looks like a hideous AI.
No, this is the look at my face. I'm right here.
Yes, it is.
I'm
yes,
voguing right here,
God.
and this is the framing that you have to see my face in.
I thought it was Bella Ramsey at first when you said it. And I was
that
like,
forehead's not big enough for Bella Ramsey.
I was like,
Bella Ramsey's like got all this forehead going on. And so her box is a little bit bigger, right? Because it goes all the way up there.
Oh my God. Random diorama. She looks like the Ma from the Ma and Pa holding a pitchfork.
You ain't wrong.
You know what, man? I should do an AI rendering of them as Ma and Pa. Oh my God, it is beautiful. What a great idea! What a great idea. Brutal. Yeah, Clint dumping them by 25. The bottom line is though, is when you, oh my God, when I saw this, I was like, I opened the phone, I opened it up, and I immediately shut it. It was like, oh God, I can't look at this. I do not want to look at this any longer. Okay.
I mean, if you equate to that painting and what that American Gothic, what that painting actually means, and then you apply it to that, it's even freakier. But
good
I mean,
gracious. Okay, so look, we'll quickly roll down. That was damn good, man. That was great. Yeah, cultural appropriation on the haircut, no doubt. Holy shit. That's good shit. Okay, best picture, of course. We knew this was going to happen. Yeah, one battle after another, obviously ended up winning.
The worst
I don't think that was a surprise.
The worst movie of the year with the worst acting and the worst script of all freaking time wins 6 Academy Awards. So this has to tell you that they are fucking clueless as to what art is, as to what talent is. And the Oscars are fucking done.
Well,
because I mean, Frankenstein and F1 were far superior intellectual movies as well as philosophical movies, and acting prowess took place in those movies greater than most of these other movies that were even freaking nominated. Now, granted, there are some on there that I haven't seen that I've heard are really, really good, and that's fine. But this fucking movie was the biggest piece of shit that existed out there.
Well,
and they put it up there and gave it all the accolades.
It definitely caters to the crowd. You know, they definitely were, that movie panders to the Hollywood crowd. Now, I will tell you, I talked to a lot of people who really liked it. Really liked it. And some of those folks, I their opinions I don't normally, or I don't take very seriously because of having talked to them about other stuff, and it's
Yeah,
fine, whatever. Everybody likes what they like.
sure.
I don't care. But several people I talked to actually really enjoyed it, and they did not see it in the same light as other people.
Now,
Um,
I get it, but at the same time, if you're really paying attention, I got, laughed at and said, "Are they talking about me?" When I said, "Hey, you know what? This movie is for a bunch of smooth brain people that've been hit with a stupid ray." Uh, you know,
I mean, it's and I get it, I do, but I'm just saying, like, I am not kidding, man. Like, I talked to a
no,
lot
I've
of people at work that, when I would bring it up, that did enjoy it, and did not. They didn't even see, I think, maybe the parts of it that you and I maybe see out of
yeah.
it, and a lot of people, and I get that, I get that.
I
You
was
know,
happy to see the best supporting actress was from Weapons.
well,
Weapons was a
yeah,
good
that's what I was
movie.
going to bring up. Best director was Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle
Okay,
After Another.
so this was a Paul Thomas Anderson um,
Uh,
Oscar for his
yeah,
previous works,
yes,
right?
yeah.
It had
That's
nothing to do with this
exactly
one.
what I was going to say.
That's
I was
the
going to,
only
yeah,
reason why these were put up there. And then he wins a best actor
yeah. Michael
because
B. Jordan, Best Actor. That
they're
kind of
like,
snuck up over the last, like, right before voting ended. I think this
yeah,
kind of happened.
and again, this is another one of those, hey, you're a really great actor. We love you and so much. We want to give you this award to give you encouragement because it's not coming from this fucking movie. Uh,
Well, I think a lot of the people that ended up probably voting for him were like, oh, he's playing two roles in the movie, for what that's worth. I'm just telling you
I
what
mean,
what
he's
I
no Eddie
saw,
Murphy.
what I read. No, no, that's quite a lot of talent. But Stanley says, liked him in Parenthood, which I actually like. I loved Parenthood when that show was on. Man, I watch that show every week.
Look, I like him as an actor. I think he's a very talented
Friday
actor.
Night Lights, of course.
I I'm not sure that he should have won this year in terms of the this year's performances that have been
If
put out
if you
there.
look at who he was up against, I think that
Okay, well, if you look at who they nominated, yes, but
right.
if you look at the stuff that was out there, no.
Right. But looking at who he's up against, I mean, then that's where, so it's not just everybody. Now this part I did Jesse Buckley and Hamnet. I don't think that was a surprise for anybody.
I don't think it's a
Um,
surprise, but who saw Hamnet?
well, I exactly. Now Sean Penn for best supporting actor,
Okay, so maybe so because I think his performance in that movie was
and
probably the best thing of that movie.
I think most people would agree with you on that premise. They would, as disturbing as his character was. Amy Madigan for Weapons, as far as best supporting actress, I love that because that movie really was a
That
lot of fun,
that movie deserves more accolades than it got.
and I really enjoyed going to see that. Like
Yep,
that, I really did. I really enjoyed seeing that, and then best adapted screenplay, Paul Thomas Anderson again. I mean, you
that's
know,
dumb
it's from there. I could
because
care less about
Frankenstein should have won that.
best animated K-pop Demon Hunters. That's no surprise compared to
I
what it was up against. I don't
I
think it
think
was.
I think Zootopia 2 should have won that.
I give it to K-pop, dude.
I think
Yeah, that movie.
Zootopia.
That's good, man. It's really good.
I get it. I think they gave it to K-pop because they were the new kid on the block, and they're like, "Hey, we got to give you accolades."
It was
Uh,
hot, man. It got hot,
it
but
it
it was
got
good.
it got hot, and it drove a lot of attention. But I look at Zootopia 2, and it was such a solid movie, and financially, it is the second highest grossing animated film of all time, only second to that Chinese movie that came out in the same
Yes,
year.
but I'm going to tell you something. Had they given K-pop a actual theatrical run, it made 17 million. Like
You know what? You're probably right.
if they had given it a full theatrical run, I guarantee you that movie would have made buku bucks.
You're probably right.
Yeah,
And but honestly, Zootopia 2 or K-pop definitely one of those two movies should have won, and K-pop won it. So I'm not upset about it, but I'm like, it could have gone either way for me.
Yeah, but we don't have to get too deep in the weeds on the winners there. Just kind of the main categories, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do believe that about K-pop. I do believe
Frankenstein did win something. They won a couple.
Yeah, I want to say it wasn't special effects, was it?
No. But it did win a couple. I think that movie should have won Best Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay. They had a new award this year.
Okay, I'll give you what it let's see what it won. What Best Costume Design?
Okay.
Let's see. Won 3 awards for Best Costume, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and Best Production Design.
And quite honestly, it should have won for Best Screen Adaptation.
I thought that movie Frankenstein was fantastic.
Best Direction. And I think it should have won for some acting awards.
Now, see,
because it did such an amazing job.
So that is the girl that plays. Who is that next to him in this One Battle After Another cast acceptance right here? Do you know who that is right there?
I don't know who that is.
I thought it was the chick that plays the let's see, hang on real quick. Dadgummit.
I'm not sure.
So I'm trying to check. I don't know what to check here. I don't know what to check.
IMDb. Check the
hang
listing.
on.
It's one battle after another.
Oh my God.
There it is. There it is. Screenshot that motherfucker because that's the best thing ever.
Print screen. let's capture this.
American Gothic.
I'll just take that. That's courtesy of 3-star draw.
That is the name of the portrait. That is just about perfect.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. I appreciate that. Okay. I was gonna get. I can't even do it. I want to get into this G.I. Joe story before we get out. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll save the Rebel Wilson.
Hey, I'm off all this week. I don't give a crap how long.
Yeah. Okay. So let me get into the Max Landis G.I. Joe story, because you and I and probably several people here would probably be quite interested in a live-action G.I. Joe movie.
Absolutely.
Per Variety, however, Paramount has decided to pass.
I thought you were saying something else there. Per Variety. I mean, that sounds like pervert.
Oh, yeah. Hey, put them together, folks. What is that? Was it on Sesame Street or Electric Company where they had the 2 syllables and they'd put them together? You know what I'm talking about? They put them in
conjunction junction. What's your function?
Oh my God. Okay. So, per Variety, Paramount passes on the G.I. Joe treatment from Max Landis. So, we knew that Danny McBride and Max Landis were having not necessarily competing.
No. It was clearly depicted as competing scripts.
To me, I thought it kind of came across as them just gathering whatever they could gather.
Sure. Well, yes, but at the same time, they were working on separate treatments, so It was a competition. They were picking between the competition.
Now,
that's what I got.
This article, it says that Paramount and Hasbro are not moving forward with a take on a new G.I. Joe movie from screenwriter Max Landis. It says that he was engaged by the studio and the toy maker earlier this year for script treatment. And it says new film leadership at Paramount is prioritizing the relaunch of this IP and others, including Star Trek. Paramount passed on Landis treatment for creative reasons, one source added. The studio is still in talks with Danny McBride for his script. It says that Landis told Variety, tremendously grateful to have been given the opportunity. His pitch came together very serendipitously based on the coolness of the weird and subversive idea. That idea centered around the film's franchise villain Cobra having successfully taken over the world and reduced G.I. Joe to a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
But this is just how big IP development always is. Honestly, I was surprised it was reported at all.
Yeah.
So that was his quote.
So,
Okay?
so I, from Max Landis's take, that's not a take that anybody would want to see from a first movie in this franchise.
I wouldn't think starting out with that would be the way to go with how you're going to introduce people to this IP.
I mean,
again.
You have to have a world already set before you can do World Without End, right? And it sounds like he's jumping into World Without End.
Right. Now, you had told me something. You had told me something when we talked earlier, before we came on, that his idea was kind of more very strange kind of idea compared to a more traditional treatment that Danny McBride supposedly is with the lore that we kind of know more.
Yeah, so from what I understand it, Danny McBride has thrown himself into the animated Sunbow universe. And so he is taking elements from that to tell his story. Whether you like that or not, that is what most of G.I. Joe fans know. They know the Sunbow universe. And whether you like the comic books or whatever, more people know the cartoons than anything else. So if you want to hit the largest demographic, you're going to hit the Sunbow universe. And that's the direction that Danny has taken with his treatments up to this point.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. So every now and then I'll go down the Reddit rabbit hole. Okay. And it's interesting to see fans and read what fans and people will say. Some of the comments, man, like this is just to give you guys an idea. So this story, it's on Reddit r/movies. Okay, posted, passed on the treatment. And some of these comments are brutal. Like, man, that shit must have really sucked if Paramount said no. And then somebody says, I mean, he had such a leg up being a Nepo baby and a notorious sex pest. The script must have been awful. It says here, like, I know Max reads Reddit, so just wanted to say this is simply what he deserves. Hey, and then somebody says, hey, Max, go fuck yourself, you piece of... Like, this is brutal. Reddit is a pretty shitty place for those of you that go there. I'm sure you know this. But, man, like, I remember I just happened to look it up just to see. Google it. And I'm like, okay, I'll see what's going on Reddit to see what... And people are just, like... slamming this dude, and this is just over his script not being picked up. Like, it's like, golly, man. I would like to know personally more about what his treatment really entailed than that broad view. But of course, you know, we may get that information may come out at some point in time about how weird or different that it was.
And I will say that all those Reddit freaks, they've got no hard evidence on anything because there is no civil or criminal crimes prosecuted or levied against him.
Yeah.
There are some accusations made against him, but nothing has been moved further into the legal system on any level. So whether he did anything or not, we have no context for. It's the same with Joss Whedon. There's no context for anything other than Joss being a mean person and Max Landis having accusations leveled against him.
Well, and a lot of times, you know, a lot of this stuff that happened was a power grab, right?
Yeah. Well, Yes,
It
we
was
know
Me
much about
Too
that.
was a huge power grab,
Yes,
and a lot of these accusations that came out were to get people.
baseless.
Yes, and then you find a lot of these have no charges associated. There's no substance to them. There's no receipts to a lot of them.
Yep.
And yeah, it makes headlines when you see 8 different women or 12 different. But it's like, yeah, I'm sure in Hollywood you could find 12 women to corroborate with you something if you want their position, if you want
Yep.
them out, if you had a bad experience with them because they made you cry on set because you showed up late and acted like shit on set and couldn't do the part, whatever that may be, right? You could easily see that and
Yep.
find 12 people to gather together to then just come out and say whatever. And when it was in fashion to do so, it was the believe all women, right? It
Yep.
was believe all women, no matter what, believe
Don't
everything
don't
they
believe the
say.
men. Don't believe the children. Just
Right.
believe the women.
Just believe women, and everything they say is the absolute truth. And we know that women can be just as nasty as any man. Okay.
In
It's
some
it's
cases, more
more
nasty when it
so.
involves other women.
Absolutely. So so yeah, a lot so it is interesting to go on there and instead of talking about like, the G.I. Joe movie or what they might want to see, it's literally just comment after comment about, hey, this guy, he got what he deserved. And these are people that have no idea. They don't even know. They read a headline, right? And that's all they know about it.
Yep.
And so yeah, I mean, just brutal though, like going down. And I thought, okay, well maybe I'll see somebody that maybe had some insight. Maybe somebody was, um, wanted to maybe knew something. No, it's you're not going to find that on there. So
No, because there's nothing there,
no,
and so okay. Uh, I think that Max Landis's take was not the best take to start a movie franchise with. I think Danny McBride's maybe a better place to start. I don't know that it's going to have much catch or viability if he continues to stick with the cartoon universe. I would love to see a reiteration, a period piece, maybe, of the original comic book universe or some variation thereof that takes that whole premise of these Vietnam vets that have come into this clandestine organization to fight terrorism in the 1980s. And if you do something like that, okay, great. Okay, maybe you could bump it 10 years and make it more into the War on Terror. 20 years, War on Terror is a little tougher, but there's a lot you can still do with this Delta Force type of group of people.
sure,
And there's so many options that we could go in with the wonderfulness that is the GI Joe universe, because ultimately if you look at it, you have everything in GI Joe. You've got Adventure Team, you've got GI Joe, you've got ninjas, you've got Space Force, you've got aliens, you've got um, hollow world situations with Cobra Law. You've got all kinds of craziness in terms of sci-fi technology and directions that you can go.
yeah, yeah.
So you just have to pick one and stick to it and make something that's somewhat interesting. Create new characters. I don't care. We don't have to stick to the 1980s characters that we've stuck to for the last 40 years.
Yeah, I think if, but again, okay, so we just got done talking about fans. And if you're wanting to bring in the fans that are going to be most interested in this, then sticking to characters that they know is probably your best bet rather than just creating new characters for the sake of
Yes,
it.
I get it. Yes.
I mean, that's just kind of my look on it now.
But at some point, we have to get past nostalgia,
No,
and I understand that aspect of it too.
no, I get it, and until we get a little more information, if this thing does get off the ground, of course, Paramount just took on a whole lot of debt, or they're going to once this sale goes through 100%. They're taking on a lot of debt, so that means there's going to be some projects that get announced that are going to be canceled. There's some projects that are going to spring up. So really, right now, this thing is really kind of in limbo, and the only news is, hey, there's a treatment. They decided not to go with this one. It is possible they decided not to go with that one because of whatever backlash that they may have heard from people about Max Landis. Who knows?
Well, think about the articles. The articles came out with you know,
it's two paragraphs
contra.
on
Well, no, but I mean, but
history.
every single article that came out with Max Landis, controversial figure,
Yes, yes.
or sexual abuse,
Well, just look.
accused sexual
So
abuser
this article,
associated with it. Every single article had that in the fucking headline.
so this article right here, okay, this article right here, it has like 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs where he talks about, hey, I didn't get a chance, and then it spends the bottom of the article talking about news of allegations. 2016, he was dropped from his talent agency. Multiple development projects were canceled.
2016.
Then another paragraph talking about, you know, Paramount and how they distributed Brett Ratner's new Rush Hour film, right? They came on board as distributor for the new Rush Hour film from Brett Ratner, who has also been accused last year, and then with or not accused last year, but the new Rush Hour film. But then they're talking about also the other allegations against other people within Paramount. So they spend 2 paragraphs. So yes, you're right. It's
so
part of
this is another variety
the story,
article.
but yeah,
This article is specifically designed to take down the merger of Warner Brothers and Paramount, and specifically focused on the Paramount side and their depravity and how they're connected to Trump, and everything Trump does is evil.
Yeah, I know 100%.
This article is specifically twisted towards that narrative, and it's not reporting actual facts about anything.
Yeah, it's other than, like I said, the first few paragraphs, it gives his statement, but then they spend time on that, and you're right. There's always a comma in there. Right, it'll say the name of the person, and then usually there's a comma, and they'll go through the whole thing and then start giving you the news. Yeah, I don't know, Graf. I mean, I get it though. I know what you're saying about an October Guard movie before a Real American Hero. Sweeney as
if
anything works for me.
If Classified can't even touch the October Guard yet, what makes you think that anybody's even going to be talking about the October Guard? Come on.
But one thing,
nobody can figure out where to stand on Russia at this point.
Right.
Are they good guys or are they bad guys? I don't know. Depends on what Israel says. Oh, wait.
Well, I will say this. One thing that has been doing well, now I don't know what the figures are, but one thing that has been doing well is the Skybound Image Comics with the G.I. Joe series, Transformer series, Energon universe. And there is going to be a Crimson Guard Silent Missions.
Would be interesting.
And their mission is to protect Cobra Commander. Failure is not an option is the tagline basically for this. But they are making another round of the silent missions. It said that lineup of superstar creators for the issues. Crimson Guard set to be the second in 5 planned silent missions. Each will be released on Wednesdays in April.
Yep.
And so, and then they're also doing the Kickstarter with the compendiums. So yeah, they're gonna be doing more silent missions. Did you like those silent mission comics?
Yeah,
they did. I thought they were fun.
They were good. Now, did you read the IDW annual G.I. Joe?
No.
Annual number 1. Annual number 1 for IDW Real American Hero. Annual 1 for IDW Comics under Larry Hama's guidance, which was in the 200s range, I believe.
Okay.
But it was an annual, so it was separate. It was 2012, so maybe not 200s yet, but pretty close. It was all about Crimson Guards, and it basically, was all about all the different branches of the Freds, or not the Freds, but the different variations of the Crimson Guard clones,
okay,
or surgical alterations that they were making on people. But it was a extra thick book all on that, and I'm curious to see them do a silent issue with this and maybe expand that lore a little bit further.
I wonder if it'll be more of just a traditional kind of like, let's drop back, keep your formation, like instead of giving you much because it is a silent issue, it'll be more of a traditional, just kind of like protect the target kind of, as they move from one spot to another, right? As different people are
Well,
trying to, capture Cobra
yeah,
Commander. You know what I mean?
but how do we do this? What versions, what facial structures are we looking at? Different series of Crimson Guards? Are we looking at just the elite nature of the Crimson Guards that are supposed to be there?
I think that's probably
There's
more in line.
there's a lot of possibilities
Yeah.
with it, and yeah, I'm excited to see a Cobra series of silent issues that they're doing.
Oh, yeah, for
So
sure.
all of this new silent issue series that they're doing is all Cobra based.
Right.
So there's a lot of interesting things that can happen. Unfortunately, the silent issue thing is a gimmick now. At the time, it was a function of necessity, and it just happened. And now it's become a gimmick.
Yeah,
And
that's
and
my worry.
and while I liked issues, what was it in the '80s somewhere with Storm Shadow that was called SFX, sound effects. Um, that was a good issue. And then there was an IDW Origins issue that was pretty good that told kind of a Timber origin story with Snake Eyes. There are ways to tell silent issues, but honestly, you have to have sound effects. If this is an elite organization trying to protect someone, there has to be communication between them. So, how do you make it a silent issue? If you make it a special missions, even better. Minimal dialogue is different than no dialogue.
Yeah, I wonder if it's hand gestures. Hand gestures, check around this corner. Let's get to the vehicle. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly it. That is exactly it. I think that's what it's going to be. I almost think it's going to be just a traditional, like I said, protect the target. Let's get from point A to point B. That's what I envision in this, rather
Yeah.
than an expansion of really any lore. It's just me.
Yeah.
What I'm guessing, and the fact that also, like you said, it's a gimmick.
Yeah.
And that's how the GI Joe issues were really just kind of gimmick issues. There was some stuff in there,
Well,
but for
like I
the
said,
most part, it just was kind of
issue issue 21 was not a gimmick. It
right.
was a necessity of moment, but it told such a compelling story and it released such character development in Destro and Cobra Commander and Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes and Scarlet. There's a lot of character development that actually happened in that issue that was fundamental to what moved forward. We are so far beyond that. Doing a
Yeah, no,
silent
right.
issue now has to have a real purpose, and I don't know that this has a real purpose other than to be what Three Star also agrees with is a
Right.
gimmick.
Yeah, I look, I'll pick it up because I love picking these up. I love going and checking
Yeah,
my
of
holds.
course. I'm a
And
sucker for GI Joe. What can I
yeah,
say?
yep. I'll tell you something else I'm a sucker for. The Transformers book. I've been enjoying the Transformers book. And yes, there are some changes a coming. What they've done with Megatron in this series is interesting. Having the he's it's part of his backstory in this has been really cool, and what happened to him when he got captured basically, and put through trials, let's just say, and man, like very compelling, very compelling. And then there are supposedly massive changes for him. Now, I don't know what they're going to be. I can't necessarily even say that I can guess what they're going to be. But I did get the latest issue. I haven't read it yet. Issue 30. This one comes out in April. I did get the most recent one. I haven't read it yet. But they're setting some pretty interesting stuff up with the Autobots and Decepticons. But it's been a good series, man. Like I've enjoyed actually reading the Transformers book. I think it's been pretty fun.
I've I've never been into Transformers. I don't. I mean, I get it, but I don't. I've got the first three trades of the Skybound Transformers books. They're good, but they're just filling gaps in my GI Joe story for
I
me.
get it. No, I get it. Totally.
I, and so I mean, there's elements of it that I'm interested in, but honestly, Void Rivals is actually turned into something that's filling that gap for me because I don't care for Void Rivals very much from the beginning. But when they started adding the Transformer elements, I'm more interested in those Transformer elements than I was in the main book.
Yeah, no, I
So,
totally get it.
I
Totally get
mean,
it.
I don't know ultimately where all this is going. I know people are loving the Transformers book more than the GI Joe book. That's fine. That's the way
It's
culture is because Transformers got bigger than GI Joe, but Transformers wouldn't exist without GI Joe.
yeah, it's for me, this is what I wish they would adapt into film. I would rather them
Nice.
adapt
Okay.
these stories into film and do the Energon universe. I think there's a lot to play with there.
I'm with you. I think even on the Joe side, the Energon universe is probably where they need to go at this point.
It's just I like it. You know, if you're not gonna do period piece, if you're not gonna go back and go back in time to me, where
Yep.
you really do that, then this is what I would like to see.
Yep.
And I think it would be a fun, updated way to kind of, bring that to the big screen in both of these IP
Yep.
and bring them together. I think that would be the way to do it. And so to me, adapting this would be because they've done a pretty darn good job with both of these books. Void Rivals, I was on early after about 8 issues. I kind of, I stopped picking it up. But
I get it. It gets better after that, but I get it. I get it.
yeah, it was it
That was
was
it
it
was
was
hard.
different to get into, but
Yep.
I have flipped through them when I go to the comic shop. I've flipped through it. I see that what they've added. I see it. I could easily see myself going back and picking up, like a trade of it. But yeah, this is what I'd want to see. And if anybody has been reading the Transformers book, yeah, let me know. But I've really enjoyed it. And
Yeah, most people that I've talked to have really enjoyed the Transformers book.
yeah, this cover, man, that cover looks sweet. I ain't gonna
It's
lie.
pretty cool.
I do like that cover.
Yeah.
So the last thing I wanted to finish up on, okay, because I had one more story. Stu, what's going on, buddy?
Finally, Stu gets here. Come on,
I
man.
know, right? I don't know if you saw this, but you guys know that when I go to Joe Fest, I wear a Bucky Beaver outfit costume the last day for like the last hour, and I'll run around the showroom floor and get pictures and stuff. I got a picture with Larry Hama, and he was not amused. But I saw this story come across my news feed the other day. Bucky's receives an F rating from the Better Business Bureau. Now, you would think that's not possible, right? How is that possible? Bucky's is extremely popular, hugely popular. It has never been bigger, right? Evidently, they don't respond to customer complaints. 88 complaints have been filed against Bucky's, and the business has failed to respond to those complaints.
Did you say 88?
88 complaints, and they
Out
have
out
not
of the whole company?
responded to. Now, I agree with you. I think that's a very low number.
Right.
However, if you don't respond to any of them, and this is what it is to me, they don't have a public phone number. So you have to you can only like submit inquiries through email or something like that. It says some of the complaints cited were issues with refunds, billing errors, dispute over store policies, attempts to resolve problems with store managers through the company's website went unanswered. They just don't respond to complaints. And I found that fascinating because you'd think Buc-ee's, everybody loves Buc-ee's, right? But if you got charged or overcharged or something happened and you're trying to get it resolved or fixed, you have a question, and then you just don't get a response. And it's because they're too big to fail, I guess. I don't know. I literally thought, I was like, really? Like, there's no way they get an F from the Better Business Bureau. But yeah, it's true. They did. And then when I looked it up, I was like, well, damn, I guess they just don't care. They're like, whatever. Complain away, you sons of bitches. We don't give a shit. That's
Hey,
amazing.
if they only have 88 complaints with as many
I
locations
know.
and as much business as they do every freaking day, guess what? Those motherfuckers complaining is probably your fucking fault. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. That's a extremely low number in my opinion too.
Right.
Only 88 complaints and as many hours of operation and days and round the clock and have that many locations, including one they're building here, very close to me. I won't have to drive, like Three Star says, 2+ hours to get to one. But at the same token, I won't be going all the time. It's like I'm not going to go out of my way just to go to Buc-ee's. It's like I just don't really have a reason to.
Unless you're taking a group of Australians to one. And
Unless you're taking a group of Australians. Yes, tis true. But yeah, I saw that and I thought that was interesting. I'm like, no freaking way.
Yeah, no way.
But yeah. So let's see here, man. Punk's Pit Friday.
Punk's Pit Friday,
Punk's Pit
yep.
Friday night. So member stream. If you're a member, you can definitely tune into that.
Yep.
And then
I've got some super secret stuff that's coming next week.
Okay.
Next week?
Okay.
Or the week after. Yeah.
Super secret stuff, huh?
Yeah, so there's some stuff coming out that we're going to talk about on a Thursday night. Thursday with a friend.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so there's a Thursday with a friend coming up. Not this week, but next week. That will incorporate a lot of stuff that you might see hints of in my photographs on my Instagram coming out soon.
Okay. All right. Then you guys know where to go. Okay, that's interesting. All right. I did want to say there is a brand new day trailer dropping tomorrow. There have been little bits that have come out, just little, literally 2 seconds, 4-second images of Petey. They're hard to show even because it's literally it's
nothing. Yeah.
2 seconds. And so I would rather just catch the trailer, but that is dropping tomorrow. So you guys be on the lookout for that for sure.
What's up, Tony?
Yep. Tone, what's going on, buddy? I got a Sevens Wild tomorrow with 3-star draw. We are going to, you remember the game Guess Who that you played as a kid? We're going to play that game with G.I. Joe characters. So I'm going to pick some characters, and then basically we get to ask each other questions and whittle it down. I would love to figure out a way to be able to show the chat who the character is, that the other person couldn't see it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we're just going to kind of mess around with that. We got some other stuff to go over, tomorrow. Obviously, pre-orders went up today. If you were into that sort of thing, I'm sure you were. If I had to guess, I'm sure you got your pre-orders in. I did too. I was late, but actually this time there was nothing to worry about. I was actually surprised. Yeah.
I don't think these are going to sell out. I don't know how many are going to sell out even on the Walmart Collectors Con stuff that's coming up this week. Stew for lunch. You got your Who-Man figure. Savage Crucible is the best. They have the best detail, best articulation. I mean, I'm gonna shill for them for as much as possible until they start paying me, and then I'll do it even harder then. Um, you know, I'm been very happy with every single figure that I've gotten from them, and I have quite a few, even from the first run. Um, these guys are awesome, so I highly recommend them. Go get some. The Elric and Death Dealers are coming soon. Um, go check them out. There's a lot of stuff coming from them in all facets. They got some fish people stuff coming, some Cthulhu stuff coming. But yeah, I've got a whole bunch of those guys. So I'm happy to see them do really well. So awesome. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah, I think I've got anything else coming in very soon, but I don't know. I've got to check. I got to check my emails actually, which I have started slacking off on a little bit lately. I was really good about checking emails there for a long time, and then I've kind of slacked off the last couple months. I need to get my ass in gear.
Hey man, your Royal Guard today. So,
yeah. Super cool. Super cool. He looks great. Looks quite devious, actually. But yeah, man. Yeah, tomorrow night with 3-star draw, and then Punk's Pit on Friday. And then next Sunday I will be doing an unfiltered for sure. My son's on spring break, and I've had him the last few days, so and she's still over here probably watching Instagram reels right now. I can only watch about 6 reels at a time. I don't know about you, Matthew. Like I can watch maybe about 6, and then I have to get off of it and go back to my regularly YouTube videos, like that are
I can't
25 minutes long.
I can't watch reels.
It's
don't.
yeah, it's not my thing either. It's
No.
not my thing.
I'm too old. Whatever. I don't know, but I can't.
I just don't know how you could sit there for like an hour or two and just watch one reel after another. I know my son does it, but like I will look at about 6, and then I'm like, I gotta bounce out of this. Like that's
kind of get
literally how
it because if you're scrolling through Instagram, it's kind of the same thing because you get all these advertisements and these other things that are trying to hit you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not the same. No, reels are not my thing for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely not the same for me. Like I said, I've got to get my 20-minute videos in, or if I'm watching Mahler, my 5-hour.
That's right, man.
My 5-hour
5-hour on
breakdown
2X
or something. It's something else. Yeah, I think most of us stay on YouTube at this point, right? But
I mean, YouTube has been where you find out where things are and who people are a lot faster than anywhere else right now. So it's become the preferred format, as Douglas Adams predicted in 1980s. So,
yeah, and John Adams, one of our presidents, predicted back in the 1700s, 1800s.
Yeah, not so much.
1700s. John Adams, ahead of his time. He look it up. I dare you. You might come across a picture. You might come across a picture, one that might look a little something like this. Hit it.
I am American Gothic, baby. American Gothic. This is it. Leonardo DiCaprio, 51 years old. Greta Thunberg, 23.
Jesus, I can't believe it.
Hooking it up, baby. Hooking it up.
This is just beautiful. I'm sorry. Holy cow. Okay. Anyway, all right. That's about all I got, man. Anything else on your end, buddy?
Nah, man. Some cool stuff coming next week. Guys, check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Join us for the Punk's Pit. An evening with a friend at Punk's channel on Thursday. Punk's Pit on Friday. Sunday with Pop Blender for his brew that he wants up. Tuesday for us. And then back again on Thursday for a very special evening with a friend. where some stuff is going to be revealed and be pretty cool.
Yeah,
So check it
gonna
out.
be that'd be interesting. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting. I'll be tuned in. I got to work, but you guys will get started. I'll be able to be in there. That'd be fun. Okay, well, you guys have a great night. We're gonna get out of here, and I guess we'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow. And Matthew, y'all check his Instagram as always, and you guys take care. We'll see you next week. Appreciate it.